Does the type of scoliosis, so if it's a C curve, an S curve, a triple S curve, does that matter when you're considering tethered cord surgery? And if it does, how does that change the outcome or even the methodology that you use when you're cutting everybody up?
No, it
Okay,
doesn't.
good.
Typically, patients with tethered cord and scoliosis will not have only scoliosis. They'll typically have other things. There'll be bowel and bladder dysfunction. There will be frequent urinary tract infections. There'll be back pain. There'll be pain in the legs and scoliosis, and potentially a syrinx as well. So no, I don't split hairs about the type of scoliosis for tethered cord or for Chiari.
Is scoliosis also common? Is it commonly seen with a syrinx? And in maybe a child, how is something like that treated? Is it treated the same, or does it have to be consulted with maybe an orthopedic surgeon? How does that work clinically going forward?
So syrinx is frequently seen with scoliosis in association with Chiari, but not always. And scoliosis is still, a sign of Chiari being symptomatic, particularly a progressive scoliosis is an absolute indication to decompress a Chiari malformation. So do we consult with orthopedics? Yes. If it's a mild scoliosis, actually, usually the patient has already seen orthopedics because that's what brought a child to medical attention to the pediatrician was the curvature, or the pediatrician found the scoliosis. And so they usually have already sent the patient to orthopedics, and then orthopedics gets an MRI to make sure there's not a neurologic cause of the scoliosis. And then they come around to us. So we're usually all working together already.
That's good.
If there is a more severe curvature, and I think orthopedics threshold is about 30 degrees, then I think they're going to either need bracing or surgery. Okay. Directly for the scoliosis, even if the Chiari has been decompressed or the spinal cord has been untethered. So that's why we don't want to wait and see if it gets worse. And we, take scoliosis, particularly in a young child, because it's so unusual, or in a teenage male, or a teenage girl who has had progressive scoliosis over months. We want to go ahead and do those because if we decompress the Chiari, a lot of the time the scoliosis will reverse and they won't end up needing bracing or surgery.
That was actually a question that came up as a follow-up. So does decompressing Chiari or untethering a cord improve scoliosis? And how quickly does that improve? Is it lasting?
We usually get x-rays about 6 weeks out, 6 to 12 weeks out, to see, first of all, that the curve is not worsening, and second of all, that it's getting better.
And you usually see it that early?
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Yes.
And that's true also of detethering?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, if it hasn't been going on too long and it's not too severe. Sometimes, scoliosis, if it's more than, 30 or 40 degrees, sometimes it won't reverse, and the person will still need to have surgery for it.